So we're thinking about things like this. We're thinking about the differentials between combustion temperatures and the various elements that come in from using a butane lighter.
Now, in vaporizers, the big thing is temperature.
Correct.
Various temperatures on that. So how is this? How do you temperature control this at all?
So right now it's just a butane lighter, and we wanted to get this out there. Now, when you have like a vaporizer, for example, they generally max out on temp about 500 degrees. If you look up the vaporizing temperature of cannabidiol, it's considerably higher than that.
Like
CBD.
700, something like that?
I think it's 620. We can fact check it, but THC is right in there. THC is 365.
Well, there are definitely lighter volatiles. Everybody knows how if you just lightly light the things, you get a whole different taste than if you really torch it and get the heavier things coming out.
So what ours does is it removes the heavier tars and allows the cannabinoids to move through just by the tar's natural adhesion to the components on the inside of the piece. So one thing we're developing right now is an ignition system that is entirely electrical. We're considering diamond coating it so that no chemicals, no elements at all are interacting with your medicine. It's just the medicine being delivered in its purest form. And that way, as the research is being done, as people are dialing down, this strain does this and this does this, we can really perfect it.
Sputter coat it with diamond. That's a good idea. That makes it fairly impervious and also unreactive.
And that's kind of where our heads are at. Additionally, we're trying to make this something that's not a stoner pipe. This is something that you will buy. It has a lifetime warranty. It comes in the case, which is watertight, airtight, to keep your anonymity. It's discreet. You can bring it around. Every piece has a unique serial number engraved, and that's how the warranty is supported. Moreover, every piece has a 4.20% donation to NORML, which I know is near and dear to your heart. Every part of it's made here in Colorado. We see, from the business perspective, from the industry perspective, we see the dispensaries are one aspect of it. But this isn't even questionable. The federal paraphernalia law indeed has written into it an exclusion for paraphernalia cases where allowed by local law, which is not in the case of any other of the federal drug-related laws. So this is completely federally legal. There's no gray area, which puts it in an interesting place.
But once it has resin upon it, though, then all of a sudden it becomes...
Except, see, the federal law in the case of paraphernalia explicitly defers to local law, whereas in the case of the medicine itself, there's no deferral given.
I believe in Colorado law, if you look at it here as a local law thing, they name every little tiny thing that could possibly be used. I've seen this list. There's like 50 things on it.
Yeah, we looked through it. We have a printout in the shop.
Exactly. And it names everything you could possibly use as paraphernalia because they are allowed to do that under federal regulation.
And so where it happens is that Colorado law expressly permits us, all four of us who are partners in the business, the principals, the ones who make every one, are medical marijuana patients. So we're permitted expressly by Colorado law to manufacture paraphernalia. There's a few words in between those two words, but it's in there. So what it comes down to is, since we can bring this national, we can't export our medicine from Colorado, nor do we want to, and nor do we want to import any. But what we want to do is be able to export this to other medical states, and we believe the Obama administration is backing that. This is 100% made in Colorado. This glass, which could cost us about 15 cents in Indonesia, we pay $2.50 for. I'll tell you our cost on it right here for each piece of glass to artisans in Longmont. Our metalworks in Longmont, we do this in-house. All the work that can be done to support industry. I mean, we started this company in the midst of the biggest recession of my entire lifetime. And here we are.
And so now we're getting short on time, but I understand one of the end run here is there a legal situation involved here?
So it's interesting. We have some hurdles that we jump every day. For example, manufacturers will contact us and respectfully decline to continue doing business, supplying parts with us.
Because they're afraid the federals will come and give them a hard time.
Credit cards. We can't take credit cards right now. Our bank just said, hey, we understand it's legal here, but, the home office is a little iffy. Whereas on the other side, our case suppliers are based in Michigan, a medical marijuana state. They love it. They're very excited that they're being used in the industry. So we're seeing it fall on both sides of the fence here. But it puts an interesting thing. We're having legal language written up for our website. We'll be distributing them online, but only to medical states. And we're having a lawyer write up language to say that I affirm that I'm allowed to do this, Whereas you don't really have this with any other product, and it's a very interesting gray area to be functioning in.
And this is one of the sidelines. I mean, everybody thinks about medical marijuana as smoking this herbal thing,
right?
But there's all kinds of sidelines to it. I mean, there's the peripheral with medicines and tinctures and brownies and things, but there's also tools that go with it, fertilizers to grow it, and all this. I know a certain business in town that used to sell freakies. They used to sell tattoos and all kinds of hippie things. They now have a whole section of their store that sells hydroponic things.
I was in there yesterday, and I couldn't. It blew my mind.
That's right, and you're seeing it all over the place. All the peripheral businesses involved in this, and what it generates in our economy.
And it comes down to the point where it's a more serious approach. We have a chance to take this out of where it was when not when I was in high school, but when my peers were in high school, rolling joints in the bathroom and things like that. We're grown-ups. We don't need to hide. We don't need these backhanded methods. And I saw just today a medicinal-specific hash oil burner for patients who prefer that. We're really gearing up and really targeting it to the medical industry, and it's making a difference. Patients are realizing it, and patients are appreciating it. I have a voicemail from an asthmatic patient, disabled her whole life, who couldn't take her medicine. Now she can, thanks to my pipe, and that's sort of like the best blessing we could ever hope for.
And as we work through and find ways to deliver it and find ways to separate the things and realize that there are 63 different things here, and each one of them has an effect, and then every two of them will probably have a different effect together. It's so complex in there, and just trying to get it normalized and get everybody onto it so we can just do the research.
Yep, and that's, I think, scheduling, obviously. As you know, Schedule I drugs can't be researched.
Right.
You were talking earlier on the federal level. I mean, the federal push is going to have to be for Schedule II.
It's got to be dropped to a Schedule II, as well as the federals back off of anybody that's legal in their state. And that's a states' rights issue.
Absolutely. And when it moves to Schedule II, what it permits in the grand scheme of things is now a doctor can prescribe it, and then there's no questions. It's because of that Schedule I classification that it's an issue.
Well, let's hopefully be able to deal with that in the future as we go along. Mitch, I'm glad to have you on.
Pleasure to meet you, Bo.
And we'll be flashing, I think we have it up there now. There you go, Incredibowl Industries, LLC. You can do a Google on that, I'm sure, and find how to contact you.
Absolutely, or www.theincredibowl.com on screen right there.
Theincredibowl.com.
Or you can give us a call at the number on the screen.
All right, great. We're going to go to another quick 45-second break, and then we'll be back with a wrap-up of the show. So stay tuned here.